No, nothing, huh? You guys? No error. Okay. So let's try a couple other things. How about we change some styling? So again, it's document dot get element by ID. Again, same thing in parentheses, total, because that's the element I'm going after. And now here, instead of inner HTML, it's going to be dot style, because that's what we're changing. And then what you need there is exactly what you would have in your style tags, right? Like imagine your style tag right now. You have style open, style close, right? It looks something like this. And then in here, maybe you have the ID total as your selector, open brace, close brace, and then maybe you've got, I don't know, what do you guys want to do? Color? That's easy, right? If you do color and you do blue, right? So you just did this part. You already did this part because you did total. And you did this part because you included the keyword style. So the next thing then is the property, right? So color goes next. So now put dot color. And again, I want you to think about format. What are you doing with format here? On the left, you have the element, and from that element now you've drilled down to its style, so you're going to change that one little thing. So on the left is what am I changing, and then on the right is going to be what am I changing it to, right? The value that you're going to change it to. So if you want it to be blue, quotation marks, this is a string, blue. Element on the left, value on the right, always, right? Just like a variable here. Variable on the left, value on the right, always. So when in doubt, try to narrow it down to those two things. What is the element? What is the value, right? So think about it that way, like an assignment statement. Did it work for you? The sample I just showed you? Yes, yes, yes. And that's the most common thing. You're going to see that everywhere because people don't want to type all this over and over and over again, right? So I'm just doing it because you guys are just learning it now. So you got to get in the habit of it. But yes, you could take this part and you could put that into a variable. So do that right now. Go ahead and do that. Yes. Huh? No. I just like to do them at the same time as I cover some of the concepts in Chapter 4. Because I know digital media folks haven't done anything in Chapter 4 ever before. Well, I assume. I know in their coursework they don't. So okay, and then the other thing is, you know, keeping in mind the order in which things occur. Remember what I told you about, you know, that whole concept of the defer. The element has to exist before you can do anything with it. So if you actually try this out, let's see if it's, if you put this code here after the script, what would happen? You have an error. Why do you have an error? Exactly, it can't find it, right? And that's a problem. Hold on. Because order matters when you're executing this code. So you have to create the element first, before you can do anything with it. And that's why the defer is helpful, because it says, okay, go ahead and load all the whole page and then go execute my JavaScript. Now my elements exist. Now I can do something with them. The async, I was trying to think of that myself, and I guess it's if your JavaScript built the DOM, right? If you're building the DOM in the JavaScript, you don't care whether the page loads or not. And in that case, then you're creating each of the elements, you're creating each of the nodes, and then you can go manipulate them, add the CSS or whatever, or have your CSS run after that, the flow of things that way. Which is kind of fun. Okay, so now taking a little step, wait, let me finish this thought. So I want to show you a couple of things in here. So we talked about creating a variable for just this, right? This guy? Let's do that. So if I do that, right, I'm going to come up here. I'll do it all in the same place with my variables. And I'll say let total, I'm going to call it H2. Let total H2 equal this. So this part of my code now means that instead of having to type all of this, I can just use this. So down in your JavaScript portion here, right, I'm just going to comment this out so you can see what it would look like. And it would just look like this. Total H2, because it's replacing that whole front part, dot inner HTML equals this whole thing. Okay, so does everybody see the shortcut there? It's just simply a shortcut, saves you keystrokes. The other thing I want to show you that's a little bit nuanced too is the string concatenation I was talking about. So whatever I did up here on my line 30, I can do that here on this line 35. I don't have to use those template literals. I can say double quotes, the price is space quote plus total price. Right, so string concatenation works the traditional way as well here. What did I do? Do I still have this? I still have this down below, don't I? Okay. All right, so it's still creating the object, it's still executing the CSS on it. Take it one step further, right? Try something else. What if you, here you can start to use all your creativity. You guys are far more creative than I am. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. What if you already had a hover coded, which I think might be interesting, right? So what if you had your H2 was already in here, and you did, well, let's do H2 hover. What if you did you could just go color white, right? So it'll hide into the background. So when you go to do that, oh wait, oops, I forgot one thing, guys. Don't forget this because it'll cause an error. Style, don't forget that. I got a little carried away. So when it loads, there's nothing in the H2. The JavaScript's going to write it in blue, and then you go hover over it, and it'll hide it again. Now, I could write an if statement that retrieves the color. If color is white, make it blue. If color is blue, make it white. It didn't work? Let's see. This takes priority. I like to do this. This is, well, we didn't talk about if statements yet. I won't do the if statement yet. We'll do it next time. Okay, so that did everybody see why that didn't work? Because when it creates the element, it puts the style in inline, right? So this takes priority over whatever might be up in here. So it doesn't like that. All right, but we can play with that next time. There's a couple things I want to leave you with before we have to go. It didn't like it. It did like it. External style sheet. Okay, good. Got you. Very good. Good catch.